I'm Rafe Cloud, Managing Director of APAC, and this is 5 Things Friday.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I was just bopping away to the intro music. That was fun.
Yeah, well, we'll have to release that as a single one day soon.
It'll be the
It's our track. Anyway, how's it going? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. You know, there's been lots of things happening. We're into the budget cycles for 2026 for NRF, and what are the levers that will make it grow. We've done some offsites and some planning, and I was up in Singapore. And NRF APAC actually won best trade show launch in Singapore 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
it's very exciting. So we had a bit of a win, and it's great recognition for the team. So that was just awesome. So
My knees up?
that was a poor answer, wasn't it? No. I had a couple of glasses of wine and caught up with a few friends and waved the trophy on stage.
That's cool. That's fantastic. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, listen, as always, we're gonna for those, I'm sure you're watching this because maybe you've watched one of the other episodes. If you haven't, we're gonna cover the top 5 news articles across one of the largest regions in the hemisphere. And I love the fact that obviously you're sat there in a jumper and I'm here in a t-shirt, showing how global the global weather.
It's very cold in Sydney today. I'm really struggling. I'm running between turning the heater on and off. I've got a heater on.
What just out of curiosity, what's the temperature that you've got there?
Oh, I reckon it's about, hang on, I'll tell you, on my phone, 16 degrees.
Okay, and that's really cold for you.
Yeah, Sydney's not too bad in the winter. I still might even get a surf tomorrow morning. You never know before it.
Anyway, okay, fantastic.
I think you should start. I think we should take that. We've talked about luxury over the last few weeks, and I think you've got a good luxury one to start with, because I think this is the piece that I think the big elephant in the room.
Perfect. Okay, all right. So yeah, we as Ruth just mentioned, we've spoken about how we're in this era of European brands going to China for their growth. And we've got to the stage where brands like Shushu, Tong, a Shanghai born and bred luxury fashion house that have been taking their designs to Paris Fashion Week have been really well received. And in my mind, again, this is what retailers in the West need to be careful of, because now you're getting these young designers who can go toe-to-toe from a design perspective. And hence why I think maybe we're seeing a bit of a decline in luxury in the region, because of these types of brands that are growing and will only continue to grow, because technology is not an issue. It's about creativity. And I think now China's young designers and fashionistas at that point where they've been sort of consuming all of this Western retail, and now they're bringing their sort of spin to it.
I think also too, just, this is Chinese style cultural authenticity, it's really bringing this home. And I think for me, these brands are well placed because, we've seen what's happened with some of the other European maisons.
Yeah.
These are products that's, built in Asia for Asia and have real cultural resonance.
I think one to watch, they're on Farfetch, they're on all the different e-commerce luxury platforms that exist over here. And so I just think this is a sample of what's to come.
Absolutely. Oh, it's my turn then. Okay. Oh, I'm ready. So I'm going to talk about a brand new cultural phenomenon in Korea.
Okay.
Korea's got this thing going on, which is it's impacting retail significantly. It's called the Honjok culture. Honjok, Honjok. Okay. And it literally translates to a lone tribe.
Wow.
And what it talks about, it describes people, especially millennials and Gen Zs, who love to live, eat, travel, and shop alone.
Wow.
And it's about loneliness, but about self-reliance and freedom, right? And so what we're seeing now in Korea is, it has one of the highest rates of one-person households in the world, with 33% in 2024, right?
Yeah.
So that impact on retail has been really felt, whether it's eating alone at restaurants or drinking alone or watching movies alone or solo travel. But in retail, we're seeing the whole ranging and product evolution. So more single serving packaging in every form, from meal kits to cosmetics. Things like store layouts with smaller tables, private booths, and solo friendly atmospheres. Shopping on your own rather than in couples or in a family.
Yeah.
Brands' messages are really now talking about, not about family time, but me time, and treat yourself as aspirational, not a sad thing, but an aspirational thing.
Yeah.
So, like services, you're seeing subscription boxes, meal boxes just flying through the roof, going through the roof, hobby kits, personalized shopping experiences tailored to one person.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing it manifesting in convenience stores like CU, GS25, 7-Eleven, and they're innovating in ready-to-eat premium meals for solo consumption. This is a lifestyle shift. This is a trend in Korea, which is wild. And it's driven by our Gen Zs and millennials. They're about choosing to live alone.
Yeah, it's incredible. I just literally Googled it when you said it. And obviously the Honjok is like the main, but then it's everything that you're saying in the Hon Bap, which is the growing interest in culture causing, like there's lots of different.
There's single room karaoke. You could do karaoke on your own.
Oh my God, holy cow. I can go to that karaoke room, cry my eyes out and sing all by myself. I've finally got a space.
I've always wanted to sing Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears on my own.
But yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, when you read things like this, you do feel that this is a trend that, as sad as it is to say, that you can see growing. People are choosing not to get married. They're choosing not to necessarily go into relationships. And I think, wow, sad, but what a harsh reality that we live in.
Yeah. So, for me, that was like, looking at things in Korea, because the Korean experience is quite a unique experience in Asia because they are cut off a little by language and they're quite inward looking.
Yeah.
And so, Japanese, you go to Japan, Tokyo feels, a bit more inclusive, but Korea is the language and culture and, their homegrown brands and K-beauty and culture and all the things that's coming out of Korea. It's very much set in a Korean steer. It's something unique to that country, so Honjok is, I'm not surprised that they're creating movements like this,
I think what a nice segue as well into the next one. Again, talking about beauty brands, and this specific K-beauty as a category is growing globally. And this brand specifically is now growing in the US. And they're called Anua, which I was covering Hailey Bieber's brand in the US that she just sold for $1 billion in May this year. And these new beauty brands creating communities, using influencers, obviously using new science and really challenging the old vanguard of the beauty providers, which are, the big CPG companies. Again, as it feels like not problematic, but as interesting or the Korean society is, they're able to export so many popular.
It's an amazing and fascinating country, but it's just because they have this separation that they can come up with some of this unique cultural iconic K-beauty and K-pop. It is so unique to them, but it's just I think it's a reflection of the way they operate with the rest of the world. But it's just it means that this creativity happens in this bubble, which is Korea, that is just so unique and so different. And in many cases, so appealing because it's hard to find anywhere else. So on to mine now. And my one, this is a bit of a wild card. Last week, we talked a little bit about luxury.
Yep.
And I talked about luxury in the Asia Pacific market. And that bit will come to air, I'm sure, because we recorded it and I haven't seen the light of day yet. But I wanted to build on that thought. And when I started digging into the numbers, I really started to notice that in some markets were flat, some brands were going up, some brands were going down. China was definitely dropping back in terms of luxury, and that for the European maisons, but might be growing for the Chinese houses. But what I did notice was just the incredible growth in Vietnam and retail growth. And so I thought, well, let's delve a little bit wider into that. And I think one of the things I've noticed is that Vietnam is basically has hit the road. Like it is going. So in retail sales in Vietnam hit $300 billion US in 2024.
Oh, incredible.
By 2029, it's going to be nearly $500 billion. And it's growing at 12% annually. So it's insane. And then what you're seeing is this real appetite for e-commerce, social media, and cross-border. So e-commerce e-commerce GMV jumped 37% in 2024.
Wow.
And it's platforms like Shopee, Lazada, TikTok Shop, and Sendo who are really leading the charge. So things like not 57% of transactions are occurring on a phone.
Okay, so mobile first.
Yeah, so huge growth, multi-regional platforms coming in, and really mobile first. I mean, Korea is, I think, I want to say 70 to 75% mobile phone led in the digital context. So they are the kings of mobile phone, right? great. They are amazing. But, Vietnam, holy cow, what a market and what growth. And this kind of came out of the digging around on luxury last week that I thought, wow, Vietnam seems to be growing really dramatically on luxury from albeit a low base. But when I look at overall retail, this country's a juggernaut. It's like everyone's flat.
Do you have a view on why you think that is? What's going on? Is it that they have?
Matt, this is the piece I talk about with Asia Pacific, and you talk about the Southeast Asian nations outside of Singapore. We're seeing the great equalization happen right now. Wealth is increasing, right? Yeah, so we're seeing wealth increase and people joining the middle class in rapid rate right across the region, and I think therein lies the change. And as more wealth is happening, people are traveling there as well. So I haven't got any information on tourism, but I mean, I know lots of people who go to Vietnam, but I haven't got any money on tourism and retail in Vietnam. But the numbers suggest to me that the growth in wealth in Vietnam and the rise in the middle class is phenomenal. But yes, that's not unique to Vietnam. You're seeing it in Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand's a bit further on, and obviously Singapore's well progressed. But these Southeast Asian markets are accelerating. It's fascinating. It's a much younger market too. It's quite a youthful market.
That's it's one to watch. I mean, as you said, it's the great equalizer, which to me it just signals more opportunity for in the region.
And so therefore, I mean, and I was looking last week, as I said before, in luxury, and it was the mega growth market in luxury. It was coming out from smaller numbers, but it's serious growth happening, and it's not a small country, Vietnam.
As you know, Laura is on her global travels around the world, so she's not with us, but I'm hoping we'll be able to go to Laura now.
Hi, Alex. It's Laura here from Izmir in Turkey. I'll start this off with anyone who doesn't know me too well. I have been living in Sydney, Australia for 15 years, since 2010, and I am one of the guilty expats that go home every 12 to 18 months, and I spend a lot of time with my family and pretty much pretend I'm back in Glasgow as if I never left. And I like to try and get a wee bit of a European holiday in the mix, so I'm on my Jet2, if you know, package holiday with my family and my 2 babies. And so I really apologise I couldn't be there with you, Alex, live, but hopefully this video quality and sound is okay and you can use it, but no offence if you cut it out, and please apologies. This is as best as I could muster today. This is as good as it's going to get. So I'll jump right in. I'll talk about my first point, which is around Yotpo's announcements from yesterday. So very sad to hear that Yotpo is sunsetting their email and SMS product that came to market under 2 years ago. So what does that mean? It means that 200 people from the team globally have been let go, and the decision's been made that they're just going to go back. It seems like they're really streamlining the team and going back to the focus on reviews and loyalty, which is where they've always had their strength and being the leaders. I read the email that Tong, the CEO, sent to his team, and he alluded to the fact that the market's a little bit saturated in the CRM, the communication space, and that they had lost maybe their way from a product excellence standpoint, and that he wants to really go back to a bit more of a startup type approach. So very sad to see this happening for obviously everyone affected by it, from the employees and also the retailers and brands who have spent probably a significant time with the migration to another product and tool. From my standpoint, I have spent 7 years before being out on my own, but 7 years I was agency side, part-owned an agency, and Yotpo were one of my key partners, one of the top 5. Great partner to work with, always there, very professional. So I've always had a great experience with working with Yotpo, and this couldn't have been an easy decision to have made. Now, this is not an Australia specific issue, it's a global one, but from my standpoint, from my perspective, it's a bit of a signal that from the brand and retailer side, they were the Yotpo, the team, the market, they were very aggressive with their sales strategy around this product. They were very price competitive to win business, which is not it's a typical tactic that you use to bring a product to market So that's what they did. Lots of the roadmap, it's coming. So cost was definitely a part of why brands and retailers decided to move, but it wasn't the only part. And I don't think we should ever put it into a cost of that was the only reason. A big reason was also because of the promise of consolidation. We have seen the best in breed siloed product stack, the maturity of the SaaS vendors going up, building out their product suite, and it made a lot of sense. The theme of loyalty has been so strong in Australia, New Zealand and APAC globally that Yotpo as a leader views in loyalty to have your communication lines in the one place made a lot of sense. The business case would have been quite appealing. So yeah, a bit of a punish for the retailers going through this. They're going to have to try their best to migrate off of Yotpo as quick as they can. They're coming up to 3 months out from Black Friday, right? It's a busy time. Good news is it seems like the market is rallying around to try and support. Lots of offers out there, lots of, price matching, lots of discounting for migrations, and let's call it how it is. This was sorted for many, and now it gets to the top of the priority list because it's a P1 to get solved. So there's that. For me, it really resonates or lands, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I mean, I'm not the only one to be thinking about it, but Tomar in his email mentions the disruption that AI is causing. And I think that we're going to see a lot more, I don't know if I want to say casualties or potential SaaS technologies that have branched into different product areas start to pull back. He mentioned the fact of the tools like Lovable and some others that are starting to make headway and disrupting the market. It's a really interesting one. So I feel like that a lot of the SaaS technologies are looking at how AI is going to be reshaping their roadmap, with funding getting tighter and product decisions that once looked like they looked smart in the race for platform consolidation are now being reversed at speed. Number 2 I thought was interesting was around Gen Z, and I was thinking about it as like debit over drama. Gen Z of course they're changing the game, they're always going to change the game, but it looks to me like, well, the industry is still a bit busy, like, we're still building some sexy tools like virtual try-ons and slick little chatbots. The question is, has anyone really asked for these products? If they have, cool, go for it. If that's your ICP, go for it. But it looks like the Gen Z are showing us that they're not as reckless as we think. They're not in that impulse as much, especially when it comes to ANZ. I'm talking more about ANZ. This might not resonate with anyone else. They're not spendy, they're controlled. So this was according to a 2025 ANZ online shopping report from Big Commerce, or should I say Commerce, because they've just made a rebrand. More than half of 18 to 24-year-olds are now using debit cards to shop instead of credit cards. This is the highest of any of the age brackets. They're not racking up points, they're not chasing cashbacks, they're trying to spend more of what they have. And it's a bit of a shift. So a couple of other highlights from the report: credit card usage is in decline. Visa is down 8% in the last 2 years. Free shipping still wins. 86% say it's their top loyalty perk. It's really funny, it's just do free shipping, just, do it smart, of course, and make sure you have your cross-sell, upsell, your communication strategy right. Nothing's completely free. Delivery expectations, we've spoke about this. People are happy to pay for speed, but there's definitely a shift. Bigger products, big ticket delivery costs have plummeted. 97% of shoppers will abandon cart if they feel fees are too high. Reviews matter, and they matter a lot. 77% of the Gen Zs won't buy if there's no reviews. I'm a millennial, and I'm the same. I didn't really think reviews impacted me that much, especially when I work in the tech space, and I can see how you can kind of play them a little bit, only feature these types of reviews, but I still use them. I think what's coming across from the Gen Zs is they want more detailed information in reviews. They want more information and sizing from real people. So it's quality over quantity. Yeah, and the shiny e-commerce features are falling flat. So get back to content, give them what they want. They're being a little bit more considered in their purchasing. And again, personalisation, they love it. They want things that are more personalised to them. So I don't think anyone really is doing this year, but if you are, stop designing for hype, start designing for headspace. Gen Zs, they're not impulsive. I think my mum's the most impulsive shopper, even watching her in the last week. And, you know, my mum's a boomer and they're crazy. But the Gen Z, they're informed, they're discerning with their spending, and yeah, they're reshaping digital commerce, and they're looking for authentic brand experience. So that is my 2 points. I will be live next week from probably my house in Scotland. I am around the UK for the next 4 to 6 weeks. If anyone wants to catch up with me, I'll be in London as well for a few days. And Alex, I hope this is okay and I didn't ramble too much, and I'll see you later. Bye. Adios.
And then
I can hear her on the satellite.
coming in through the waves. Anyway, listen, thank you so much, Rafe, for giving me some time this week to go through it. Really appreciate it.
Fantastic, Alex. Thanks for letting me be part of it. Always good to talk.